Welcome to the XCS eiConsole Getting Started product overview. Thanks for using our tool. When you first open up the XCS eiConsole, you'll see the Route File Management window. This window is the catalog of all the various interfaces that you have in your project workspace and would typically reflect interfaces deployed to an XCS EI platform server environment. To work with an interface, you'll click it in the grid and select the Edit Route button. This will bring you to the main route screen. The main route screen presents the flow of an interface from one or more source systems to one or more target systems. As a developer, you'll work your way from left to right across the grid, configuring each one of these stages in turn. The source system will allow you to attach metadata, name-value pairs, to allow you to search and sort your interfaces more effectively at a later time. The listener stage is responsible for handling connectivity to the source system. A wide variety of listener mechanisms, both passive and proactive, are supported. Each has its own set of configuration options. After data is accepted through the listener, processor components can be used to generally manipulate the data to do things like decompression, validation, etc. When we move on to the source transformation, our job is to take the data from the format provided by the source system and to convert it into a canonical XML form. This is accomplished through two steps. First, if the data is non-self-describing and hasn't yet been converted into XML, we'll use a transformation module to translate the data from a native format into an XML representation. The most commonly used tool to accomplish this is the delimited and fixed width file transformation module, enabled by the XCS file specification editor. This tool allows us to describe the logical structure of a flat file such that it can be parsed into a logical structure and converted to XML. After we have data in an XML format, we use XSLT to logically map the data from that XML format into the canonical XML representation to be used by this interface. Quickly map between source and canonical data format. The left-hand tree represents the logical structure of the source data. The tree on the right, the target data, and then we begin to drag and drop these elements into the middle where we create a color-coded logical map. Under the covers, this mapping is represented using W3C compliant XSLT that can also be manually modified. After the data is converted into a common format, we hit the routing stage. The routing stage allows us to route data to one of potentially many target systems. We can also implement transaction monitors. These transaction monitors allow us to describe how we can be proactively notified if something in the interface fails. For each target system that will be a recipient of the data, we may have to execute a target transform. This takes the data from the canonical format of the route and translates it into the format consumable by the target system. The same two steps we saw on the source side are in play here. First, we use the data mapper and XSLT to logically map from our common XML format into an XML representation of what the target system can accept. Then, if necessary, we'll use the transformation module to lay out the data in a flat or delimited form. Finally, the transport component again gives us the opportunity to pre-process the data before we use any one of the many defined transport types to handle physical connectivity to the target system. The data is then transmitted to the target system, which may or may not provide a response. Once each of these stages are configured, you'll typically move on to the test mode. The test mode allows you to start a test at any stage and end a test at any stage. As a test is run, each stage that completes will be represented by a green check mark. You can then view the data as it appeared as it came in and through each stage of the transformation. Once you're satisfied with the output of the testing, you'll return back to the File Management window, select the interface you've been working with, and deploy it to an XCS EI platform server environment. You learn how to build these interfaces in much more detail by following our tutorial trail. In fact, the first tutorial in the series walks through exactly how this particular sample interface was built.